Yeah, that's so weird. Yes. Oh, chat saying they can hear me. Can you hear chat? Can you just hear me or can you hear Doug too? Just me. What the hickety heck? I am absolutely muted. Cool. I'm gonna try one more experiment here, chat, okay? Can you hear me now? Can you? You can? What? Okay, excellent. I don't know what's happening. All my microphone sources say this should not be happening. All right, chat. Ghost mic, I know, right? Okay, reverse question now, since audio is messed up anyway. Hey, chat. What's up? How you doing? That wasn't the question. I'm gonna press a button and then tell me if you're getting echoes of me, if you're getting double Heather. Okay, here we go. Do you now have double Heather? Yes. Okay, great. Well, no, it's Heather in stereo. I didn't want to speak too much double if it was going to be annoying. Okay. All right. Well, cool, great. Okay, I think I figured it out. I think I figured it out. Y'all didn't
You
hear
good?
me for a little while there, right?
I love
There
I
was
love
a
this shot because it looks like the Joker is like the evil devil on my shoulder. This is
yeah.
pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, we are now seeing. Okay, listen. I was over filming yesterday for Nostalgia Critic, which you'll have to wait and see what it is. Okay, chat, whatever. And while I was there, I helped Doug with some camera and
Yes.
audio stuff.
Oh my god,
So
so much better.
we
Thank
are
you so
now
much.
hoping for the death of Blurry Doug. I'm
Yes.
pretty
Oh my
sure.
god. Yeah, and just the contrast is better and everything. I don't look like as much like Casper. I look like Casper with a little bit of a tan.
Yeah,
So
you have
that's
some
really
color
nice.
in you.
Yeah, you can't quite see past me. I'm that pale. So that's really, really nice. So thank you so much again. That's man, I've been saying for a while. It's like, oh, at some point we gotta have you over. Because your setup is so good, and I don't know why I didn't push it further. So yeah, because now it's so much better, man. So thank you so much again.
Woo, we did it. We're here. We're live.
You did it. It was all you. So thank you again.
Well, anyway, hi everyone. Welcome to Chatting with Doug, even though you could hear me right away.
Yeah, even though we got the mic issues over here improved, yeah, suddenly life is like, we're gonna miss with Heather, no.
Yeah.
But geez, even that you got figured out.
I think I did. I don't know. You know what? My secret is that the majority of my tech resolution is just me Googling like crazy. But I do suppose I know more than I let myself believe I do.
Definitely no more than me.
But anyway, hello again to Chatting with Doug, where we are going to answer the questions that you have for this man, Doug Walker, the Nostalgia Critic, Daniel the Demon Slayer. He's known by many names, many names.
Or just those two.
Oh, just those two. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
We'll kiss. Anyway, let's get to the rules because I see that we have the questions lining up, and I love that for us. So let's start talking about the rules. First and foremost here, we give priority to the bit messages and the super chats, since that is some real world money spent. Towards the end of stream, our goal is to try to have some time for regular questions from the chat or highlighted questions on Twitch. But please understand that doesn't always happen, but we are trying to get to that place. On the YouTube side of things, we're going to prioritize reading super chats that are $5 and over. We, of course, will still thank you. But we just have such a line of questions that it's a lot easier for us to prioritize that first. And then if we have time, go back and take a look at some of those other ones that are less than $5. Please do not repeat yourself over and over again in chat. You can get timed out or even banned if you're going to continuously do that as well. As a side note with that, with bit and super chat messages, we have a list of your questions. So even if your super chat unpins from YouTube, or if your bit message has been sent a while ago, sometimes we can get up to an hour behind. Please just be patient. It is very rare that we actually miss a question. Chances are it's just that we are getting to it and it's like an hour behind. Please, no spoilers. Not everyone has seen the latest and greatest, so just no spoilers, okay? Just don't do it. That's
Chaplin's watching. He will tell on you.
Oh, well, great. No one wants Chaplin to tell on them. No one wants that. Watch the length of your questions. The longer it is, the faster I have to read it, the more likely it is we are to lose the point, and then that is that, and we don't have time to repeat it. That also applies to parts. If you absolutely have to split your message up into multiple parts, keep it to maximum 3. Again, otherwise we just kind of lose the point, and we don't have time to try to figure out what in the world you're talking about. Also, as a kind of addendum to that rule as well, please keep it to 1 question per super chat or bit message. It just doesn't seem fair if you are trying to get 4 questions off of 1 message when other people are following that rule. If you do ask multiple, I reserve the right to only read 1. And that will be that. Okay. I think that's everything.
Think we could. Drop Chaplin.
Oh my God, Doug, you can't just drop your cat on the internet. Haven't you ever seen that documentary, Don't Mess with Cats?
I was watching because there's a little bit of delay on Twitch. When I was seeing, I was like, let's see how realistic that looked. That looks so much faster than how I did. That just looks like like I just threw him down the ground. But that's not what happened. You saw me bring it back up. He is fine.
He is fine. Doug did not do that.
Say you're fine, Chaplin. Help! Okay. He loves it here. He's so happy. So happy.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. Hello again to our beloved Doug Lee and Heather Cup. How beeth thou? Stop The reviews for Inside Out 2 are coming out, and everyone's saying it's about as good as the original. I'm seeing it tomorrow, so I hope they're right.
Oh, good. Yeah, I haven't seen what the reviews are yet, and yeah, I'm not looking up outside of the teaser and the trailer. I haven't looked up that much about it because I do love the first one so much. I kind of want to be surprised. I want to go in pretty fresh. So yeah, but I'm hoping it's good because, like I said, the original is still my favorite Pixar flick.
Oi Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. Doug heard about the movie If. Apparently, on the one hand, it didn't go a cat in the hat route where it's pop culture spewing and trying to be hip to kids, yo. On the other hand, well, you ever heard the criticism Pixar sometimes gets where they're emotionally manipulative, trying to force you to cry? This feels like the movie they're talking about.
Okay, you know what? I feel like Pixar's usually pretty good at that. Of all the problems I've been experiencing with them recently, which honestly isn't a ton, but there's been a couple. That's one I haven't gotten that much because everything they're talking about still feels the message 90% of the time still feels genuine. So that's actually one of the few complaints I don't have usually. It's doing stuff like Lightyear, like, Cars or the sequels and stuff like, or like Toy Story 5 and 6, where it's like the story seems done, we don't need to tackle this anymore. But again, I'm hoping Inside Out 2 is going to be the thing that like really kind of changes things around for Disney. I'm hoping like this is the start of like Disney coming back, you know what I mean?
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen Richard Linklater's latest film, Hitman, on Netflix? And if so, what are your thoughts?
No, I saw somebody was saying it was really good. I think I saw like Philip DeFranco or something like that. He said it was just like really, really good. I haven't even seen like a trailer for it. I just saw the little like picture for it on Netflix. It just looked like a bad stand-up special. It didn't even look like it was a movie, and I hear like, oh yeah, no, it's supposed to be pretty good. So no, I have not seen it yet, but I will try to check it out.
Oi Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. Speaking of manipulative, do you think comedy can be weaponized? Asking because I thought that Quiet on Set doc, and apparently one big reason why some of the people got away with those things as long as they did is because they're funny. No one who was funny would actually do something that horrible, right?
No, I think there's a lot to both comedy and charm helping people get away with stuff they shouldn't necessarily get away with. I mean, I'm trying to think if really anything can't be weaponized. I think kind of anything can. We really think about it. Even kindness, killing with kindness. That's a term. So now it's probably the best way to weaponize something, arguably. But in terms of like most ethically, but even that's not always sound. So yeah, I think just about anything can. And comedy is tricky because, again, in my opinion, it's a way of it's a coping device. It's a way of taking bad things that happen to us and saying, well, this is part of it. This is a part of life. You laugh at it. Oh, it hurts, but man, that's a part of it. I'm still enjoying life. Like that's ultimately what it is to me. That's always what I see it as. There's varying degrees to that. So the idea of that being weaponized, isn't that big a stretch, in my opinion.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. With Ride or Die in theaters right now, what are your thoughts on the Bad Boys franchise?
I've only seen the first one all the way through. I've seen bits of the other ones. I like them. I only saw the first one like when it came out. I remember, I was pretty young, so it's a pretty easy movie for a 13-year-old to like, or maybe I was 11 or 12. I can't remember, but I saw bits of the second one, bits of the third. I liked them fine. I haven't seen the fourth one yet, but I'll probably just stream it. The one movie that's actually like a big hit this year, and I'm gonna stream it.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which movies do you like more, the first two Aliens or the first two Terminators? That's a good one.
That is good. I'm trying to think what ones I would want. So Alien and Aliens is a more complete package, if that makes sense, because first Terminator is great, but it's definitely sort of like it's like the first Mad Max. It's kind of a very different thing compared to the second one, where the first and second Aliens just go hand in hand so easily. But in terms of what would I rather watch, I'd probably watch the second Terminator over and over, honestly, because it's just so good. But it's tough. I think the first two Alien films are better made, but I'd rather watch the first two Terminator films.
Boy Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. Well, as long as you're not planning As long as you are not planning a terrorist attack, hearing you is fine. I mean, yeah, we weren't discussing anything crazy. It's just more from a perspective of I didn't know where that was coming from, so then I couldn't control how loud I was, and then I also would have had an issue with maybe my voice doubling, and it was gonna be a whole thing until I figured it out, you know?
It is lucky we're not one of those people. Like, I'm sure we've done it once or twice or something like that, but we're really not the people that shuts off the mic and says, "Oh God, I hate our fans." Like, we're
Oh,
very lucky we're
never.
not those people.
Yeah. If anything, you'd probably just hear about what Rob made for dinner or something.
Yeah.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Top 3 favorite Josh Brolin performances.
Oh my God. You know, I would put Thanos up there, actually. I thought that was a surprisingly really good performance. Man, I'm thinking of all these good ones, but I'm trying to think of ones that are like, yeah, that's like peak Brolin. Oh, I did really like him in No Country for Old Men. I thought for what's kind of a thankless role, I thought he pulled that off pretty good. Just looking through some stuff here. He was an American Gangster? I don't remember that. Yeah, I got wrap it up here. So, I just saw what Men in Black 3 because his Tommy Lee Jones was amazing.
Godzilla fan, thank you for the 500 bits. Favorite movie sequel that is better than the original?
Man, all-time favorite? Probably Dark Knight.
It's Dark Knight for me, hands
yeah,
down.
and there's actually quite a few, like Empire Strikes Back and Two Towers, Return of the King. Yeah, there's actually quite a few, but yeah, I think you know, and Batman Begins is great, but man, just what an eye opener Dark Knight was. Just one experience that was. It was so cool. Everybody was on the same page with that movie too, which I just thought was so cool.
I was frozen.
Alexander,
today.
thank you for the 500 bits. The trailer for Paddington in Peru just dropped. How do you think it looks?
I haven't seen it yet. I just saw the little thumbnail for it. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but yeah, if it's the same people, I'm excited for it because yeah, those first two movies were surprisingly really good.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are your thoughts on the American Pie movies, only the theatrical ones, and would you ever do a segment or full-length review on them?
No, because I don't like them. I love what is Sean Levy is his name. I love him. And I do like the cast. Actually, the cast I thought was well picked. Just nothing funny is in those movies aside from the Sean Levy moments. Yeah, I don't know.
Eugene Levy. You're
Eugene
talking about
Levy.
Eugene
Sean Levy, I think, is the son, right? Did I get him backwards? Okay, I think Eugene Levy, yes. But Sean Levy, also very funny. But yeah, I have to admit, I'm not one of those guys. It's very hard for me to get into, you know, just sort of the rowdy teen movies. Like, it has to be really, really good in order for me to like it. I don't even get that into Animal House. Like, that's how not into them I am. That's like the peak. That's like the greatest. So yeah, and I'm just like, it's all right, I guess. I don't know. It's just not my genre, I guess. But that's not to say there aren't, you know, good ones. But yeah, I don't know. The teen comedies mixed with gross out comedies, it's pretty difficult for me to really, really get into those. But there's one or two.
Okay, thank you. Chat, I appreciate you on YouTube here. Dan Levy is his son.
Oh my God. Who's Sean Levy?
I don't think Sean Levy is right either.
I was saying to myself, no, but I can't think of any other Levies. Now I gotta figure out who Sean Levy is. Did he like direct Deadpool or something like that?
I don't know.
Because I'm saying to myself, like, I've seen that name recently and I can't know that. Aha! It is the guy who directed Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay.
Well, there you go.
So my mistake.
You got Deadpool on the mind.
Yeah, all the Levies are very talented.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to take this as an aside for a moment. Speaking of Deadpool, if you haven't seen, we do have a new sub goal over on Twitch for if we hit this month's. We're going to do an X-Men movie tier list just in time for Deadpool and Wolverine coming out. So I'm just saying, check that out.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited. Which, you know, it's not even which will be the best, it's which will be the worst. Yep. That'll be interesting.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you feel the remake of Snow White is going to be one of those movies where no matter what you say, everyone will shout, "You're wrong"?
No. Honestly, if it was like 5, 6 years ago, maybe, but I think the films have gotten very unpopular, rightfully so, in my opinion. But I always want to give them a chance. There's some that were almost good. Cruella's almost good. Pete's Dragon is almost good. If you catch me in a good mood, I do kind of like those too. But yeah, I don't see how they're gonna pull that off. Everything I'm hearing about and seeing about it, I'm just like, I don't know how they're gonna make that work. But I will wait until I see the movie.
Zicky, thank you for the $2 super chat. Trip Corey, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you ever seen the HBO Worst Witch series from the late 90s?
No, I'm 90% sure it's based on the movie, The Worst Witch, with the crazy Tim Curry stuff in it. So I think I've heard there is a series, but yeah, I never saw. Actually, I never saw all of Worst Witch either. I just saw the Tim Curry scene, and that was enough.
Too bad. Thank you for the £5 super chat. Do you still have mixed thoughts on Toy Story 3 and do you dislike Toy Story 4?
I don't like Toy Story 4, but it's not awful. It just doesn't need to exist. And Toy Story 3, I guess I respect more now that Toy Story 4 is out and there's a 5 coming. But it was fine. It was totally fine for what it was. For me, like 2 was the peak for me, though. I thought just everything balanced out perfectly in that one. But 3 went where it needed to go, and I'm glad they were closing the chapter on that. And the book should have stayed closed, but I guess we're still going with it.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Owl House, what did you think of everything having to do with Edna's curse?
I liked it. That's another one of those where a lot of the commentary in the show, like I said, was very direct, and I feel like it didn't need to be direct. I like commentary that's a little bit more vague, so you can read different things into it. And I thought her curse very much, you could read as anything. It could be a handicap, could be a physical disability, could be a psychological disability. I mean, it could be so many things, and I like it doesn't go away. She has to learn how to, right now I've talked about this a lot. I'm dealing with chronic fatigue right now, and I legit don't know if it's gonna go away. I think it's gonna go away. Everything's pointing to it's going to, but there's a chance it might not. So thinking of stories like that where somebody has something that's difficult to live with, but they find ways. They're smart about it. They're clever about it. I think is very inspiring, and that's why I like when I get why some is very direct. Some commentary is very direct. We want to make it specifically for these people. I get that, and that's very noble. Just for me personally, I like ones where there is a little bit more you can read into it because I think it speaks to a lot more people and it can inspire a lot more people. So I really like the way they handled it.
Godzilla fan, thank you for the 500 bits. Favorite music artist turned actor?
Man, well, that's the thing. Sometimes I find, uh, I find out about a person's musical career just from their acting. I didn't know they were. I mean, did you know Prince is a musician? It wasn't just Purple Rain.
I've been
No,
a big fan of Lady Gaga's transition into acting.
yeah, she's been really good. I'm like, yeah, okay, and that's a good question too. Like recent people at transition. Mark Wahlberg's pretty good. Yeah, Gaga. That sounds so weird. Gaga is very good, but Gaga's good, but she is. Trying to think of others. I'm sure there's others, but I mean that's 2 good ones right there. Lady Gaga and Mark Wahlberg.
Haunted Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on the Jim Carrey classic Once Bitten? Possible unsee?
Maybe. When I do a Jim Carrey movie, they do usually do well. There was a time where I became so obsessed with him, I had to see everything he was in. This was before internet. I think even before DVD, so you had to just go to the video store to find this stuff. And yeah, I did see Once Bitten, and it's I can't remember if it's good. I think it's good. It's very corny 80s schmaltzy rom-com, but that's part of the fun of it. The corniness is definitely very, very fun. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. Maybe. I might. That might be a fun one to do.
Godzilla fan, thank you for the 500 bits. Favorite movie based on a book series?
I mean, God, don't just make it really easy and say Lord of the Rings.
Why not?
Well, Actually, I do really like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I don't know. I mean, that's technically a series. He wrote more than one book about
Mm-hmm.
his experience and stuff. So yeah, I'll say that. Let's go. Let's go look crazy with that. Oh, and then Jungle Book. That's technically a book series too. So yeah, there you go. There's three.
Noah, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, a new gameplay trailer for Star Wars Outlaw came out. Will you play it for Disney December? It comes out in August.
This August? Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know it was that close. I'll have to see because there's a
Okay.
couple games uh, that we wanted to try out. The last Star Wars game we did, aside from Lego Star Wars, actually did well. Wasn't as big a hit as we thought. What am I
Survivor.
thinking? Yeah,
Mhm.
Survivor. I kind of thought that would get a lot more eyes and attention, but it really didn't. So I don't know. We'll see. It might be a possibility because I do like playing those games, but yeah, I also I do like mixing it up, little variety too.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. What was the one edit in Baz Luhrmann's Elvis near the end that got you choked up? I wonder if it's the same edit that got me.
I can assure you it is. It's the one where everyone in the audience, you could almost hear like a gasp without hearing a gasp. It just so caught people off guard. And I think it was really masterfully done. I mean, I guess it's not a spoiler. It's when he's performing his last performance, and then it cuts live to him actually singing, the real Elvis singing it.
Oh.
And I know it's very well done. And they are very kind to re-edit the audio when he does the last note. Because, in the movie, they make it look like he's so sick he can't make the last note. I think he has somebody else like even play the piano. He's still smiling and everything. But they edit out the audio of him going, ah, like that, which was very kind of them to do. They just make it sound like his voice gives out or something, which it does. But yeah, that was a very kind thing for them to do because I didn't even know about that last. I mean, of course he had to give a last performance, but you don't think about what it is. So yeah, after I saw the movie, I immediately went and watched that because I did have kind of a different point of view on it after that.
Easy D, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, I have only one question for you today. What is the best song/musical number you've ever heard in an animated film production, and why?
Man, Circle Life's pretty good. It might be Hellfire. I just remember when I saw that there was just this. I mean, like I was watching this at a time where I'm already kind of like, oh, yeah, Disney's kind of on the outside. I'm growing up. I'm like a rowdy teen, but all that stuff. I'm like, I guess so. I was at my uncle's place and he had a cool sound system. I was like, well, I get just to hear the sound system, and I was already blown away by the opening. But then when I got to Hellfire, there was just a whoa, like what Disney can. Like, I didn't know we could do this in Disney. Like, that's a meal. I haven't felt that since like Night of Bald Mountain or something. Just like, whoa, like it's so cool when you get a moment that does that for you. And I'm a sucker for villain songs. Yeah, and then when I was a kid, I think I did listen to "Be Prepared" a lot from Lion King. That was anytime I went to see it on the big screen. Like both my brother and I were like, here it comes, here comes the big "Be Prepared" song. So yeah, we like those.
Today.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think Inside Out 2 will break Disney's awful losing streak or be another shallow cash grab?
I hope it breaks it. I feel like not only are they aware of how beloved the original is, but I think this is one where I think they know the opportunity is too good that they shouldn't mess it up. And I'm hoping they got people that understand the material, understand good storytelling, and really playing with the creativity of it. And it looks like they do. Like all the trailers I've seen, it looks like it's on the right track. So I'm really hoping it is. Like I said, I'm hoping this is the turnaround.
Lime Peel, thank you for the £5 super chat. Doug, will you ever review Mirror Mirror or Snow White and the Huntsman, or both? Maybe compare them to the Disney original?
Um, I never saw them. I heard very underwhelming things about them. I think I did see a little bit. I think it was Mirror Mirror. I saw a little bit of that at a hotel once, and it looked kind of colorful. It looked a little creative. So I might check that out on my own. I don't know if I don't know if Julia Roberts movies really get the numbers for us. You know what I mean? But I might check it out on my own.
Chase, thank you for the $10 super chat. In reference to my Office question last week, I 100% agree. I find The Office insufferable. Parks and Rec, though, is the GOAT. Characters are fun and happy, comedy's golden, and Ron Swanson is my spirit animal.
Yeah, boy, you put that well. I feel like everybody has a spirit animal in that show. I feel like everyone just has, like, not necessarily that, oh, that's me, but just someone they really connect to in that show. And like I said, I think that's still, maybe there's another one, but that's still like the greatest cast I've seen in a sitcom, like in recent years. Like just every single character, I want to know their reaction to something. Whenever something weird happened, I wanted to see everybody's reaction because I knew it was going to be so different and really, really funny.
Tom Allen, thank you for the £5 super chat. Hi, Doug and Heather. How are you both? Hope all is well. One question for Heather. Are you enjoying the new series of Doctor Who so far? I am. I finally got to watch Dot and Bubble. Holy cow, was that a great episode?
I just love that name. The
Dot and
epic
Bubble.
Doctor Who episode.
Bubble and Dot.
And
Was it
Bubble.
Bubble and Dot? It might have been Bubble and Dot. I don't know, but it was
It
great.
sounds
Bubble and
crazy
Dot.
if it's the other way.
Love it. Love it. Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. As a former supporter of Restore the Snyderverse and Make Amazing Spider-Man 3, I can now say I was too naive.
um, I liked the whatchamacallit, the Snyder cut quite a bit.
Yeah, it improved
Yeah,
it.
I don't know if Sony was still involved. I don't know if Amazing Spider-Man 3 would have been that great, but I would like to have seen it because I do think there's things in 2 that worked, and I do still like Amazing Spider-Man the original quite a bit. So it is a shame we couldn't have seen more. At least one more. The Raimi one's got 3. I would have liked to have seen one more.
Godzilla fan, thank you for the 500 bits. What is your weirdest / funniest restaurant story? That's an interesting question.
Man, the I'm kind of blanking. The only thing I can think of is that I did an interview for 2020 years ago. It was about the way I quit my job as a janitor, and they said they were shooting a reality show at a restaurant that wasn't too far away from me. And I went, really? It was a restaurant I went to before. So I kind of just told everybody, hey, I think I went there once before and it was okay. It was passable. But I'm like, let's just all go just to see what it's like. Because he told us the night they were going to be there and stuff like that. We went there. We just like never got our food. Everything took forever because they were just so focusing on like the filming and stuff. Like we got it, but it was like an hour and a half later. Like it was a really, really long time. So we thought it'd be crazy and zany, but it was so boring. I did say hi to the camera guy there. I saw for the 2020 thing, but yeah, that's it was pretty dull. I'm sure there's crazier stories. That's just the only one I can think of at the moment.
Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. Who's a director you wish would come out of retirement just one more time? My pick is Rob Reiner.
I don't know because I feel like they know when to, cash it in when they're like, I'm done, kind of thing. And that really is like, okay, that's their choice. Maybe I don't know if she's still doing movies, but I still love the works of Julie Taymor as a filmmaker. I know a lot of people are very hit and miss with her stuff or even don't like her stuff, but I don't know. I love the idea of just telling that person, just make a movie out of blank, and whatever she thinks up, it's not going to be what you think up. You know what I mean? Like she's just going to have a completely different take on everything. So I don't know if she's still doing movies. She might just still be doing Broadway shows and stuff like that. But yeah, I love her take on almost anything, even if it's bad. I love it.
Jacob, thank you for the $10 super chat. I remember an old video of a panel you did at Anime Midwest in 2013 where a fan went up and proposed to you. You revealed another fan beat her to it earlier. How many fans have asked you to marry them?
I think you were looking at them. No, there's, I mean, it's every kind. I mean, truth be told, I just got a drawer full of engagement rings. No, I mean, it's like, I don't think they're serious. There's always like 1 or 2, but not as many as you think.
Andres, thank you for the $5 super chat. Will you do more Nostalgia Critic F-Up episodes? People have been clamoring for the return, and people have pointed out new mistakes that you've made.
See, that's the thing. I've waited so long. There's just so many. And I don't know how I would put them all in one video. On top of that, I don't know how well they would do. Actually, they probably would do well the more I think about it. I think people like to see when you screw up. But also, I just hated doing the douchey, character. I mean, he was fun, just kind of the straw man of, "Ooh, just people get upset, everything." But that voice was killing me. The wig, it was just so gross. I always had to have it in front of my eyes. I didn't like the way it felt. So, that's one reason. But the major reason is we just waited too long, I think.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. On the DVD of the first Alien, there was a deleted scene I think they should have kept in. After the first death, the remaining crew members were to meet in the mess hall to discuss the situation and how to deal with the alien. Have you seen that deleted scene? And if you have, do you think it should have been kept in?
I've seen all the deleted scenes. I don't remember that one too well. I remember more of the dude getting cocooned up, and then some other shots of like the alien seeing it move around a little bit more. But uh, I guess since I don't remember it that well, I could take it or leave it.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. The reason Disney has been in a slump is because Bob Iger won't be held accountable by the board members because, in a twist of fate, they're all friends of Iger that he personally hired to protect himself.
Brilliant. I have no idea. A lot of people bring up Bob Iger, and I'm like, they could be right. It could just be bad luck. I mean, clearly there's some not the best choices going on, and you can feel that over, a lot of the stuff that comes out from them. But I have no idea if it's him. Could be. I haven't looked enough into it.
Too bad. Thank you for the £5 super chat. Did you hear that the Angry Birds movie 3 is coming out?
I like the last one a lot. I thought it was really, really good. The only reason actually that really makes me excited, because I didn't like the first one, but I really like the second one, is that I kind of wanted a little bit of justice for 2. I thought it was just so much better put together than the first one. Then when it bombed, I was just like, oh no. And then that was the movie that had what's it called? Is it Hair Love? Is that what it's called? The
that short? Oh
yeah,
gosh, it's so good.
I think when I reviewed the movie, I started off saying, "Oh my god, this short is fantastic! It's so good, so brilliantly." Oh, and the Angry Birds movie that was attached to it, that was also pretty good. So yeah, no, that was another reason I was like, "Go see this!" But luckily, that found a life of its own, that short. And then hopefully, Angry Birds 2 will, and maybe it already has. Maybe it's streamed a lot or rented a lot. I don't know.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. With Back to Black and One Love being so mid, I'm getting sick of music biopics and have concerns about the Michael Jackson one.
They, to some degree, there's some that are very, very good. But there is very clearly a formula, and I think the fact that they have made fun of this formula very well many times in parody movies, and that Weird Al movie is a parody of those. Dewey Cox is a very funny parody. It shows that there is a reason they're kind of that way. And yes, there are a lot of things that repeat for a lot of musicians. Definitely, there's a lot of patterns, but they seem to repeat a lot more in movies and biopics, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I would like to see one that really not only captures the essence of the music, but also the essence of the artist and why so many people were drawn to them. And I'm not going to lie, I don't know how you do a successful, authentic biopic of Michael Jackson. If for any reason there's, as out there as he was, and very what's the word, eccentric, there's just so many things we don't know about him. So I don't know how you do a movie on that. I'm not saying you can't, and I think it's definitely worth trying. I just don't know how it's possible. It doesn't mean it isn't, but I just don't know how yet.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Glad you acknowledged Once Upon a Deadpool existed. Tim Burton's must have been inspired by this film to make one that didn't follow its title either, Alice.
Oh, yeah, like the Alice in Wonderland one. Yeah, no, I agree.
Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are your thoughts and favorite episode on The Last of Us show? Mine is the Sam and Henry episode, David the Human Eater episode, and episode 9.
Yeah, the one with we're just talking about Ron Swanson. The one with him, and it's great. And it was great not just because the chemistry was so great, but because it was so different from the game, and it took what you knew about the game. They knew people watching this are, going to play the game, and I was watching that waiting for something bad to happen just the whole time, and I won't spoil it, but I'm watching it. I am on the edge of my seat watching, and I just love that feeling of, I don't know what's going to happen. I know this is based on something, but I legit don't know where this is going. And when it finally got to the end, it just heightened everything that the characters were going through was just heightened so much more because you know what happens in the game and you're waiting for something like that to happen here, that when you do get to the ending, it's just all the more potent and all the more powerful. So yeah, I thought that was so smart on their end, the way that they did that, and the way it was acted, directed, edited, everything, just so well done.
Noah, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you heard of the YouTube channel The Closer Look? This dude is phenomenal. He gives outstanding tips for screenwriters and fan fictions that can be 5-star audiobooks. He's that good.
Cool. No, I haven't. I will try to check them out.
Artsman, thank you for the $5 super chat. PB is one of the most perfect movies ever. I'd never want a remake, but what do you think about a sequel following the next Dread Pirate Robert?
Oh, I was looking up what PB was.
I didn't know what it was. I'm sorry.
Let's see. I think it's fine the way it is. I'll say this: if the author wanted to write another book, I think that could work. I never have read the original, but I hear the movie's very similar because he wrote both. But I could see that working. The idea of doing another movie, I don't know. Not to say it's impossible, but I think it's just so charming, the original, that they would have to do something that somehow captures not only that charm, but also that low budget charm. Now it'd be very tricky, I think, to do all that now and capture that same charm in a different way, because low budget now is very different to low budget back then. So I would advise it, not saying they can't, but or it can't work, but yeah, I think it's so charming on its own. It has a perfect ending. I'm fine just leaving it there.
Godzilla fan, thank you for the 1,000 bits. My first experience with NC was the Grinch CinemaSins collab, and I've been hooked ever since.
Oh, thank you so much.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on Boy Meets World Ben Savage not speaking to his Boy Meets World castmates?
I don't know. I don't know any of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know the reason why. So yeah, I don't have much commentary on it. I'm sorry.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Who do you think gives the better performance in Arthur Christmas? Jim Broadbent as Malcolm or Billy Nye, as Grand Santa?
I can never say his name either. I think it's Billy Nye. I think Broadbent. I think because he can do the funny moments, but he also has the very emotional moments where I feel like the moments where he realizes he cannot and is not doing this by himself, I think are very good moments, and they're done great through the animation. But I think just the few small lines that he has, and he just has to get across so much emotion through that, and acceptance of, man, this is who I am now. I have to really, really accept this. In just one or two lines, like you do it, or something like that. I think he's a very, very good actor, and I think he gets across a whole lot that I think people even realize in a moment.
Noah, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, can we get a clue for next week's NC review, please?
Oh man, how do I not give this away? There is there's a video that reanimated the entire movie with a bunch of different animators. That's a pretty good clue.
Okay, interesting. Stacy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen the Beetlejuice trailer? And if so, what are your thoughts on the upcoming sequel?
I got more into the first teaser. And the second trailer, it still looks good. It looks fun and everything. I like the returning back to more like the effects of that time, sort of the weird stop motion, everything. I think that's cool. The cracks were showing a little bit more in there. Pun intended. I guess they're all kind of cracking, decaying. But yeah, I'm hoping it's good. If anything else, at least we know it'll visually look good. It'll be a nice throwback to some of those traditional effects, which we don't see that much. So at the very least, there'll be that.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think the best use of AI in art is as a tool to speed up the process, smoothen the kinks, or create a surreal atmosphere?
There are a lot of things that, it can be used and be very beneficial. But it's, I feel like the very obvious bad stuff is very obviously bad. You know what I mean? Where it's taken from like other artists and stuff like that. I did a video talking about, while I was going through the whole thing with the fatigue and still am, that could be used as a very therapeutic way of, seeing your emotions reflect back to you. But, I don't make money on it though. I don't post and say this is my art or anything like that. So I do think there's ways. I think as a tool, that's fine. And it is interesting. I'm not gonna lie, it is interesting seeing what AI creates. Just grab you, put in a prompt, grabs all this stuff. Very interesting, but it is stealing. It is taking from other artists. And if you're gonna make money on that, that doesn't feel right. And there's a whole bunch of conversations being had right now, which should be had about what's ethical about it and what isn't. And it's a hot button topic, but there's a reason it's such a hot button topic. So, and as long as everybody's civil, and actually listens to everybody and has conversations, not just, bullying everybody, I think they're very good conversations to have, because I think there are ways that can be utilized in a very ethical way, but it's a very tricky road. And I think we have to navigate it very carefully.
Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite movie experience growing up? Mine is when my cousin snuck me into the Simpsons movie when I was 7 after we were first denied.
Man, I'm trying to think. There are some cool experiences. Seeing Dark Knight, actually, bring that up again, was really cool, because we saw it at midnight and everyone was just cheering and howling, which is really, really cool. Seeing Jurassic Park for the first time was really cool. Lion King was another one that was pretty awesome. Again, just getting the reaction from the crowd. I think it has to be Jurassic Park the more I think about it, because that's the movie I saw the most in theaters. I think it was like, I'm trying to remember, was it 11 times or 13 times? Which sounds crazy, but when you're a little kid and there's just always somebody that hasn't seen it yet, it's like, oh, well, let's go. I mean, because it just got to a point where I stopped watching the movie and I started watching other people's reactions to it, because just nobody had seen effects like that before, or like suspenseful moments like that. I mean, the one where I would just stop and turn around, look at everybody, is a clip that doesn't even have a reaction now. It's when the raptor tries to get the girl's leg in the vent and just misses. And we've seen that all the time now. But back then, nobody saw something come that close with something that looked that real. So I love seeing everybody just go, ah! Like, I loved it. I would just stop and turn around and watch everybody. I see the whole theater jump. It was so great.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's the best performance from an actor you don't like and the worst performance from an actor that you do like?
Good question. I don't know if these are the absolute, but I do remember, what's his name? Xavier, Narnia, what's his name? Gene McAvoy. He was in a movie called Wanted, and he is terrible, bizarrely terrible, because he is just an amazing actor. Phenomenal. Yeah. He knocks everything out of the park, and he is just so bad in this movie. Or Christoph Waltz in Big Eyes. That's another one. Bizarrely awful. Like, must have been a direction thing, because these actors don't miss. And then the best one from one I don't like, I'm trying to think. The first one pops in my head is Matthew Broderick. I'm trying to think, what's a movie where I actually really did like him? I did like him as Ferris Bueller. I thought he was all right. I feel like I'm missing it at like maybe War Games or something like that. There's one or two where he was okay.
Ronnie, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hi, Doug. Thanks for last week answered of you taking a risk from Illustrator to Rockstar, but since I relate to content, what's your best dating advice?
Dating advice?
Be yourself.
I mean, yeah, there is a lot of truth to that. Everybody's going to have different strengths and weaknesses. Be aware of them, but don't let them rule you either. Be aware of them so that they can show the person in a better way who you are. If you know what your strength is, but you know what your weakness is too. Use that combination to, sort of break through all the usual BS in dating to show, this is who I am. Do you think, this is genuine me? Does this work? Does this not? If not, we find someone else. If so, let's keep exploring this. I don't know if that was good advice or not. That's the best I can put it. Again, I wasn't a big Casanova growing up.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. If Sonic SatAM had continued, there would have been new villains. Would you have liked that, or would you have missed Robotnik?
Oh, I like new ones. Well, again, just seeing how they did their take on Robotnik. I mean, they made a pretty silly-looking character look really intimidating and give him like a really intimidating voice with Jim Cummings and everything. So yeah, I would love to have seen how they would have done other villains on there.
Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hello, Doug Cup and Heather Cup. What do you think is the best film that has parts that are amazing but has major cringe in it? My pick is Breakfast at Tiffany's.
It's a good pick. I bet I can guess the cringe parts. Man, let me think. A lot of filmmakers that do just go for broke and just go out there all the way. I mentioned Julie Taymor before. I mean, but that is true. There's so much of her stuff I love, but there'll be so many moments where I'm just like, oh, that didn't work, kind of thing. Ralph Bakshi is another one. But I love their stuff. I love that they would go so far as to put this out there. In a sense, be so creatively vulnerable with it. So yeah, if they really do just go for broke, sometimes that can. Sometimes even the cringe can be entertaining.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you ever seen the YouTuber Matt Brunette, aka Animat? He's basically a Canadian PG-rated NC.
I feel like I've heard the name before. I don't think I've seen the videos though. I will try to check them out.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think freaking out over bad takes are just as ridiculous as bad takes themselves?
Depends how they're done, and I know how hypocritical that sounds of me. I can go back to a ton of reactions I've had where at the time I'm like, haha, this is hilarious, but I'll look back now and be like, this doesn't work, But then there's others where I feel like, man, I can't think of anything that funny. I'll just try this take and see what happens. And years later it can be really, really funny. So there is a lot of risk with going big because, if somebody's really, there's pros and cons with both. If you're really subtle, then you run the risk of not being noticed as much because you're too subtle. But when you are discovered, somebody be like, wow, there's a lot of layers to what this person's doing. If you're really big, you have more, more people are going to notice you because you're so big and so loud and stuff like that. But if it doesn't work, man, people are going to find you annoying a lot faster than, the subtle person over there. So it's tricky. So it definitely can be, and I'm sure I've been a part of that category.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. You like Boy Meets World, your thoughts on episode, and then there was Sean. The music during the killer's reveal as a doppelganger Sean makes me feel sad.
Let me look. I
don't know if I remember that one.
Up, because is this the parody of the of Scream? I thought it was really funny. And it's another one where I was kind of going like, I had an idea where it was going, but I couldn't quite get it. I love when something can do that. I'm like, I have a vibe, but what direction is this trying to go here? Because it was just going so silly and so crazy over the top. That was the one that's like a parody of Scream. It was like the Halloween episode where students keep dying left and right and everything. And I remember it being really, really funny. I remember that's one of the ones where I was just laughing the most because it was just doing so many weird things. And I thought it was doing it very effectively.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, after Final Fantasy, would you please play Telltale's The Walking Dead next? I'm sorry, I'm just going nuts waiting to see you cry your heart out.
So we do I'm 90% sure we have the next palate cleanser game figured out. After that, we're looking at some options for what the next longer game is. Because there is one that a lot of people have been asking about, and it's kind of like a hot game. Right now, a lot of people have been asking me for it, so that'll probably be the palate cleanser one. But we do have it on there. We do have it on the list of stuff. I am open to it, but yeah, we'll have to see how it goes.
Jacob, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Doug and Heather, since you guys do voiceover work for Walter and Rob for Fanscription, which character was your guys' favorite to voice, and which performance blew you guys away?
Man, I'm trying to think. I remember Heather doing Peach in right. Wait, was it? Wait, no. You were. Was it Tamara? Oh my God! I'm talking about like these performances that are amazing. I'm already confusing people.
That's okay.
I think you played.
I don't remember who I played.
Yeah, now I'm forgetting. Oh my God.
I don't remember. We did so many fanscriptions. I don't even remember sometimes who I play and who I don't.
Okay, that's right. You were Mario's original love interest. I can't remember the character's name. And then I think Tamara was Peach, I think.
Okay.
And both of you were very, very good. But I do remember Tamara doing really, really good. Oh, and then wasn't the Batman Robin one. Were you Barbara, I think?
Yeah, I
In
was. Yeah.
that
Hmm.
I remember being really, really
Oh,
good. I was
thank
like,
you.
whoa, this
Thank
is
you.
like, yeah, that was really, really
I
well
always
done.
think it's fun when we have to do a little bit of an impression. Like I think for Monsters Inc. I did is it Jennifer Tilly that
Yeah,
I
you did
had to
that one really
do?
well.
And I was like, sure, I'll try it. And then Walter was like, that's great, amazing, let's do it.
I
So
think yeah, I think in doing the Steve Buscemi, oh well, Randall, I think in that one too. Everyone was kind of shocked, like, oh, he actually does a pretty good Steve Buscemi. I'm like, yeah, I didn't know that either.
Strider for Life, thank you for the $10 super chat. I just saw the new Bad Boys movie last night. It was so exciting.
Yeah, I'll probably stream it. I've never seen one on the big screen. I'm always kind of like, I mean, I'm sure they're fine, but like, I'm fine streaming it.
Dylan, thank you for the $5 super chat. I wish I could tell this to Brad, but I finally had the Angry Linkara drink from Brad Tries. It was kind of weird, but I'm glad I did it.
I don't even know that one. I gotta ask him
Yeah,
about
I don't know.
that.
Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $5 super chat. Top 3 best Kate Blanchett performances. My picks are The Aviator, Carol, and Blue Jasmine.
Oh, she was good in Blue Jazz. Man, that's another one. She's just done so much stuff. She was pretty fun in Tar. Let's see. I did kind of like. I mean, like I said, the movie's not that great, but that Cinderella remake, I thought she was a pretty good evil stepmother. Um, Everyone said Elizabeth is good, but I never saw it. Oh, and Bandits, I remember her being really good in that. So there you go.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In the Rugrats movie, do you remember Tim Curry as the annoying anchorman? If you do, did you think he was funny?
I don't remember it, so you'll have to. I'm sorry.
The Experiment, thank you for the 500 bits. Are you going to review Stay Tuned, the one that stars John Ritter, anytime soon?
I probably should. That's another one of those where it's like it's not good, but it is an interesting film to watch. I might. I'll get on the list.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What's your favorite episode of Boy Meets World?
Hmm. Let me think. It's another one of those where it's like I'm thinking of moments. Maybe on that note, I might say the last one. I'm not gonna act like it was perfect, but for the kind of corniness that it had, but also kind of this real genuine heart that it had too. I thought they wrapped things up pretty well, and I love the last line and the way it was said and who it was said to. I don't want to go into too many spoilers, but yeah, it sound if you were to just read it, you'd be like, oh, well, that's the one. But when you see how the person says it and who he says it to, when he says it to him, and everything, I thought that was a very, very effective moment.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Will you ever review Open Season? I have a nostalgic soft spot for it, but it has one of the worst uses of the liar revealed cliche ever.
You know, I might. I've never seen that movie. It looks so bad, but that's one of those where I'm like, I bet that probably is seen as like really nostalgic. Now, yeah, I might do that.
Zicky, thank you for the $5 super chat. What do you find so great about Lord of the Rings? I watched it and it was good, but I didn't get the masterpiece everyone was making it out to be.
I mean, masterpiece is a little epic. I think makes more sense. The movies clearly have problems. You know, and any movie made like that all at the same time. These three big, you know, films adapting, you know, these very complicated works. Of course, that's going to be part of it. But I think it. I did read the book, so you know, going in with that did help, and you always have an idea what it's going to look like and everything. But I think because they were shot back to back, because they were so large scale, and because everything was balancing out pretty well. You're pretty invested with what everybody was going through, for the most part. There were no like there was no dead weight in terms of the characters, which for a cast that big is very impressive. So, and I think the fact that maybe Superman or like maybe the Matrix movies. Like, no, even then there wasn't all three. Three movies being shot at the same time on that big a scale just was not done. And I think for them to turn out as well as they did, and to make fantasy a thing again, fantasy just was not seen as, you know, box office gold or anything like that. They were seen as poison, and they weren't even seen, you know, they won Best Picture. They weren't seen as Oscar movies either. So I think it really did kind of change the landscape big time for all that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the new trailer for Wild Robot? It looks really charming.
Yeah. I don't like that they talk, and it looks like they talk a lot. It's the dinosaur thing when they did the teaser for the movie Dinosaur. I was so excited, and I saw the trailer where I saw they talked, and I went, "No, like you could And that was based on graphic novel. I'm sure they talked in the graphic novel. That's just how it is and everything. But oh, you shouldn't have made the teaser that good. You should. Shame on you, teaser, for being that good. I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, it looks like a perfectly decent movie, but yeah, man, that really brought it down a lot of notches for me.
General George, thank you for the $10 super chat. Here's something to consider, Doug. Lethal Weapon month. Though, given the restrictions, YouTube keeps changing. I'm not sure how much you can do unfiltered with those movies.
Yeah. Also, I like those movies. I don't think I'm not passionate about them though. That might be something more like a Brad Jones thing on Cinema Snob. I feel like he would. I might bring that up to him. I think like he probably liked doing that. I think he'd get a kick out of that.
Jimmy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Who's the best actor in Cobra Kai? I think all the kids are excellent, especially Kenny for his age.
Uh,
I love the girl who
man.
plays Tori.
Which one's Tori? See, I don't remember their names. That's
Tori
the
is
thing.
she's the older mean girl. Not mean girl, but she kind of bullies
Mm.
Daniel's
She,
daughter, but then Daniel's daughters start bullying her. It's like a whole thing
yeah,
with the two of them.
she got better. I can't remember. Like I can't remember if she started off bad and got good, or started off good and got bad and then got good. I don't know. Something happened.
She's all
But
over the place.
yeah,
And
who
I
was
love
the
it.
one? The one that was like in I think she was in the first season. I think the second season. Then they got rid of her. Which I was like, no, because I thought she was so cool. I don't remember her name, but yeah, I'd have to look at like the cast here. But whoever that was, she was really good. Sorry, there's like such a huge cast. Um, yeah, but yeah, she's in the first two seasons. She was like the only cast member that was just suddenly like gone.
Gone.
I don't know. They're like, where did she go? Oh, she went to another school. Oh, okay, and she was like one of the major characters. So I really liked her a lot. I was really bummed when they kicked her out. But yeah, I mean, most of the acting's pretty good. And I don't like when they go too much the Dawson's Creek thing, but I know that's part of the charm. I know it's part of the fun of it, or the Riverdale thing. But it's also Cobra Kai. I mean, that can be allowed a little bit. But yeah, I like it more when it feels more legit.
Mr. Mannequin, thank you for the £5 super chat. Hi, Doug. Would you be interested in doing reviews on the wacky adventures of Ronald McDonald and Adventures of Ronald McDonald McTreasure Island?
This has been brought up before. I think I started watching one of them like way back in the day just to see what people were talking about. I guess I didn't finish the whole thing, so maybe I got to do that. But yeah, when I was watching it, I just thought it was kind of just very bland, bunch of nothing. Like I couldn't get much material out of it. But maybe I wasn't watching enough of it. Maybe I had to see the whole thing to just fully get it, fully get why people ask me about it.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on Crocodile Dundee, Pretty and okay, this is like a list of like 7. So I'm gonna give the first 2 or 3. Thoughts on Crocodile Dundee, Pretty in Pink, and Rudy.
I like them all.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love any of them, but I like them all.
Sim Cinema, thank you for the $20 super chat. Hi, Doug and Heather. Glad you liked Has Been, Hotel, and Hell of a Boss. Who are your favorite characters in both? And have you seen the newest Hell of a Boss episode?
I still haven't.
Me neither.
Yeah, I'm behind on that. The Alistair is my favorite in Has Been, and then in the Hell of a Boss. I really like the Prince, the Owl Prince. I think he's really cool.
Oh yeah, Stolas is so cool. I think I agree with you on Stolas. But Vaggie is my favorite Has Been Hotel character. Godzilla fan, thank you for the 500 bits. The 101 Dalmatian live action remake is the only live action I love. What are your thoughts on it?
I liked it. I remember a lot of people were really put off when it came out that, oh, the dogs don't talk. I'm like, no, again, visual storytelling. And Glenn Close is going so big. She's like practically a talking animal in that, like she was just going so goofy over the top. Yeah, I thought it was fine. Honestly, if more of the live action remakes were kind of that vibe, I'd be okay with them.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. I watched a crazy messed up horror film a few days ago. It's called Stop Motion. It's a psychological horror film about a girl who becomes obsessed with making a stop motion film. I know it doesn't sound scary, but trust me, some of the imagery is so scary. It's on Shudder. Check it out when you have the time.
No, I saw the trailer for it. It looked good. It's one of those I keep forgetting to check out though, so that is a very nice reminder. Thank you.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. NC for Heather's, and if you say yes, Heather better be in it.
I mean, I think it goes without saying. Um, it's interesting. It's good. I liked it. I don't have it's another one where I don't have a ton to say about it. I get why it got a following, definitely, and why people still talk about it. I feel like there's definitely stuff you can't get away with now in it. But yeah, no, it's a good flick. I just don't have a ton to say about it, so probably not.
Scapegoat, thank you for the 70 ZAR through Super Chat. Two of you, if you were gods, what would you want to be the god of? I've been curious after watching you play God of War, been a fan since 2012.
I mean, can I just make up stuff? Can I be like the god of this mug or something like that?
I guess, sure, why not?
Yeah, now I have all these opportunities. I can't think of anything. The god of art. There you go. That'd be cool.
Jacob, thank you.
Wait. What would you be? You said two.
Maybe the god of like beer and wine, of
Ooh,
libations. There we go.
Spirits.
Yes. Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. I still enjoy a lot of Nick sitcoms, but it feels odd watching them now with everything from Quiet on Set and Jeanette McCurdy's memoir.
Yeah, that's very understandable. That's one of the questions we get here a lot. Sometimes people ask, can you watch something, when you know the backstory to it is very tragic. I think it's just going to be different for everybody. There's I can't remember what, there was an article saying, was it Save Cliff Huxtable from Bill Cosby? And I love that title because to a lot of people, Cliff Huxtable was this very important character, this great role model. But obviously, Bill Cosby is not. So I think people fighting for, let's keep the idea of this character, let's keep this character strong and separate Bill Cosby from it. I get that. Can I do that? Absolutely not, because his whole shtick is that he's a good guy, he's a good ethical guy, he's a good family man, he's a good father, he's just such a good dude. So I can't separate that, but I've seen a ton of stuff from other people where I'm like, I know they've done like bad stuff or whatever, and I can still, watch their stuff fine. If they can separate enough from it. So I think it's just going to vary from person to person. I don't think anyone would be like, what's wrong with you? You feel bad watching this? It's like, I think it's a very understandable reaction.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Terminator 2, I love when Silberman sees the Terminator and T-1000. He now knows what it's like to see something unbelievable and horrifying and knows no one will believe him.
Yeah, they play with that a little bit in 3. They really should have gone further with that, I thought. Like, you didn't have to like make him a main character or anything, but I just thought you could have like played with that comedy a lot better than they did.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Netflix just announced a new spin-off series titled Motel Transylvania. As a fan of the movies, I'm cautiously interested. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Cautious. I do kind of feel like my guess is we probably run out of steam with that, but at the same time, the idea of them downsizing is pretty funny. So we'll see.
Ruben Hall, thank you for the $5 super chat. Get hyped. After their previous literal banger, Yorgos Lanthimos, Emma Stone, and Willem Dafoe made another film, Kinds of Kindness, out on the 21st.
Yeah, I've been hearing wonderfully mixed things.
Okay.
And that's a filmmaker where you want people to be mixed on him. Because this guy does weird, bonkers, bizarre stuff. Half the time it's very uncomfortable, half the time it's ridiculously silly. So yeah, I did see the trailer and so quick because Poor Things just came out like last year, didn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, the cast is great too. I'm pretty excited for it.
Arthuronian, thank you for the $100 MX through Super Chats.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Doug. I see your reviews, even for movies you don't like, are more empathetic than other YouTubers. What do you think is the reason? Been so negative is a phase or something else? Stay awesome.
I think, and this is why we're all going to be in our own bubbles, aren't we? We're all going to be in our little, to some extent, our own little echo chambers and stuff. But I think it's important to make an attempt not to be, to see, still be in the real world, go outside, talk to people that are different than you and stuff like that. And the vibe I was getting, or at least what I was noticing, is that everybody, like, NC was always kind of a character, like exaggerating, like, the anger he felt for like Care Bears or something like that. But then, like, real people emerge like that. They started to get popular to a point where people were thinking like my stuff wasn't really a character. And I think just there was so much of people just, start taking this too seriously and taking the hate to just a new level. And it's not like a bit and a joke where I'm like, I'm kind of tired of this. Like, I want to experiment a little bit more. Like, let's see if I can talk about something that I enjoy, which I always kind of did in NC as well, but, it not as much. So, yeah, that's just kind of where I am right now. I still talk about, bad stuff as well, in a fun way. But yeah, I think the big thing is just utilizing comedy. I think the big thing now too is just being genuine. People really like genuine stuff on the internet. So now I think my thoughts when I review a movie, it's my thoughts. They're just turned up a lot louder. And that's also a thing. I can't get the high pitched voice as loud because my voice is not as strong as it used to be with age. So yeah, there's also that practical reason.
Tom Allen, thank you for the 10-pound super chat. Hi, Doug. I really enjoyed your review on Return to Neverland last week. Out of interest, would you consider doing a review of Hunchback of Notre Dame 2? P.S. Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
F yeah, sparkle, 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 because we're on YouTube and we can't say that. Maybe I should. There's actually probably a few. Yeah, there's a couple of those sequels I could do. Hunchback 2 would be pretty funny. I'll write that down.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are some soundtracks you think are better than the movies? Mine are Saturday Night Fever, the Star Wars prequels, and Purple Rain. So the soundtracks are better than the movie.
Judge Dredd has a very good soundtrack. The prequels are a good choice. Trying to think of one. Mars Attacks has a really good soundtrack. Also some good ones.
Yeah. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of the incinerator scene in Toy Story 3?
I guess I give it credit for, for going that intense in a Toy Story movie. I'll give them credit for that. I knew they weren't going to end it that way, though. That doesn't mean they shouldn't have it in the movie. I like there is definitely a, time to face the music and they're holding hands and stuff like that. Like, it is appropriately intense. But I think for a lot of people, they were saying, like, I really thought it was going to end that way. Oh, you did? You thought Disney was going to do that? Which kind of made me just even more, kind of too cynical to the real ending. But again, the idea and all the plot points in that movie, the direction it goes is totally fine. Just some of it's a little sappy, just for me, just for my taste.
Benny, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, what's your favorite film starring a big monster? Mine is Medea's Family Reunion. Thanks.
Good night, folks.
Oh.
Maybe. I mean, I hear if we're saying stuff like that, maybe I'll say like the Terrifier movies or something like that. But I don't know, maybe Godzilla -1 is still pretty great. Did you see the Honest trailer of Godzilla?
I didn't.
It's so funny. Oh my God. I mean, their stuff is always good, but this one was especially funny.
Mr. Mannequin, thank you for the 10-pound super chat. I knew you said ignore it, but I still want to say thank you. Maverica, thank you for the $10 super chat. No message, just the chat. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. Thoughts on James Cagney be in his gangster films like White Heat or Yankee Doodle Dandy? He was one of my dad's favorite actors of all time. On that note, happy Father's Day to your dad. How's he doing?
Good. Yeah, we just celebrated Father's Day last Sunday. Had a good time. And I mean, Cagney's a classic actor. He's one of those where there's definitely a type that he played and there's a type of film that he was always kind of in. But I like actors that can do that, and they kind of find a different way to play it, even though they have the very distinct voice and the very distinct, look and expressions and stuff. They still kind of create different characters with it. And I think he was very good at that, despite being so distinct. So yeah, I remember really enjoying his stuff.
Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $5 super chat. Can we get an NC review of the Oogie Loves Big Balloon Adventure? It's one of the best and most bizarre bad movies.
That's another one Brad Jones did. That one actually does really good on his channel. Maybe it was like one of the biggest bombs of all time or something like that. So maybe it makes sense to do. I'll look into it.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts
I
on
was
Cardi
chosen
B?
today.
I'm indifferent to her, but I find it hilarious / scary that she lives rent free in certain people's heads. Yeah, I mean,
Is
she's fine. I like some of her music. But yeah, no, people love to hate Cardi B for no reason. I mean, I shouldn't say for no reason. She is a little annoying, but
I guess I'm blessed then. I really don't know much about this person.
okay.
I've heard that name. I've definitely heard that name. But I'm looking her up. I'm
She's a
just like,
musician,
yeah,
musician and rapper.
yeah. I'm looking at like, I don't know who this person is. It's like I said, I definitely heard the name before, but yeah, I'm not brushed up on anything else. Sorry.
Maverica, thank you for the $5 super chat. Any plans to do a Nostalgia Critic review of Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase?
Is that another one of the anime ones? Maybe. I feel like I've done a lot of Scooby Doo ones I want to do. I'm a little interested in doing Scoob because I actually thought that movie was okay, but it's very divisive, and I find that fascinating. Mostly because it does make sense when people would talk about why they didn't like it. I'm like, that totally checks out. Like that actually does really make sense. So I might do that at some point.
Easy D, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on reviewing the 1954 animated adaptation of George Orwell's famous novel Animal Farm?
I did see it years ago. I remember liking it. I didn't love it, but they always change the ending, and I don't know why. The ending is perfect the way it is. But yeah, I don't think anyone would care. I don't think anyone would click on it. We do want to do a mix of something that I really want to talk about and something that people would watch. So yeah, I can't see anyone being like, "Ooh, Doug talks about 1953 films." Animal Farm. So yeah, that's not Disney. So yeah, probably not.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In the first Inside Out, what do you think of Bill Hader as Fear?
He's fine. I mean, the focus obviously is happy and sadness like that. And I'm a big Lewis Black fan, so of course I'm gonna like hit his anger. But yeah, I mean, it's like disgust and fear. It's like they're fine. It's I think I heard like those two were replaced in the new movie, and it's not like, oh no, they can't exist without those two. It's like they'll be fine. They weren't like as major players as the others.
Leprechaun Farmer, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you heard about the new Looney Tunes movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up? And if so, are you excited for it?
Yeah, they released a clip of it, and I don't know if that's going to the big screen because it's well animated and everything. I can't see them greenlighting that. Say, yeah, let's put down X amount of money to put this in theater. This is going to be a big hit, kind of thing. But I do like that style. I do like it's going back to the old Bob Clampett style, or they kind of did that with one of the newer Looney Tunes shows that came out. So yeah, I'm interested. I'd be very curious to see if it goes to cinemas.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Here's my biggest hot take ever. I actually got emotional at the ending of AI. I get why people don't like it, but it worked for me.
Well, I mean, that's the reason they made it. They want people to get emotional, so I'm sure Spielberg's very thankful.
Godzilla fan, thank you for the 500 bits. What movie do you think would have worked better if it came out this year?
Uh, Man, because there are movies that like, oh, it's just the wrong time and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe one of like maybe one of these like hand drawn Disney films that didn't get much attention. Like Atlantis or Treasure Planet or something like that. Just something where people kind of want to see that style come back again. So maybe that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Alien, what do you think of the scene where Brett goes looking for the cat? That scene always gets me tense.
Yeah, it's great. Well, and then I'm sure because it sounds like you're an Alien fanatic, or Alan, as we say on one of our last streams when we misread it. Is the way they got the cat to act so well doing that thing where like he steps back like that is that they would call to him and then they would show a dog in a cage. The cat would go and the dog would, but he was in the cage and the cat's just sitting there looking at the dog's growling, and then they would slowly start to lift the cage up, and that's when the cat would go like that, moving his arm back. It was
That's really cool.
so smart. It was so cool.
Godzilla fan, thank you for the 500 bits. Question for both. What's your favorite director's worst movie?
Well, who'd be
I don't even know who my favorite director is.
m- probably Kubrick? And what would his worst movie be? As she says in Clueless, Paraticus. That's not even a bad movie. It's just not, the Kubrick style. He's a director for hire on that one. He was brought in last minute. I guess that. Yeah, I guess I'll say that, which is still a pretty decent movie.
Ted, thank you for the $20 super chat. The other week, I mentioned attending UMD and lived in dorms preserving Jim Henson's graffiti. Took a picture with my functional animal puppet in front of the Wilkins Coffee Mansion today. May I share?
I don't know if you can here.
Yeah, you can't really put it in the chat, but if you wanted to send it to one of or tag Channel Awesome in like Instagram or Twitter or something, that could work.
Yeah.
Scapegoat, thank you for the 70 ZAR through Super Chat. Doug, if it's okay to say, what's your favorite dark joke? Love watching you and your brother's reaction to Mover. I watch your Green Lantern reaction over Christmas.
Man, I don't know. I do really like dark humor. I'll be a little self-indulgent because I just thought of this joke the other day, and it's one of those where I'm like, that was a good joke. It was
Good job, Doug.
I just thought of this. I'm like, this was really funny. It was an Ask That Guy question. Oh no, wait, can I do this on YouTube? I don't know if I can. The question is, can you come over and K me? I don't know. Can you say on YouTube? I don't know. But I just say, of course. I just get out this gun. I load it. I walk down the street with this gun, and I actually like film it and everything. I go into this house, hear someone say, "Oh my God." Boom, bang. I walk back. This pleasant music is playing and everything. I put the gun down. I say, by the way, where do you live?
Oh.
I love that joke. That was one of those. It just randomly popped in my head the other day. I'm like, that was a good joke. That was really, really funny. I'm not saying that's my favorite dark joke. It might be my favorite dark joke I've done.
The Z-Man Show, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of King of the Hill, and have you ever thought of doing a Nostalgia Critic episode about it, like top 11 episodes or something?
I love the show. Absolutely love it. I think now I think it's safe to say we're all still pretty polarized and tribal and stuff like that, and hopefully people are going to get better at it. But that's one of the shows that pops up a lot when people say, like commentary done right, or a satire done right. Like this is definitely making fun of that world, but there is an understanding of it too. There's a heart to it as well, and I love it's kind of like Patton. Anyone can watch it and they can get something kind of different from it. They can see the comedy coming from something else. I think it's really charming. I think the people are really charming. I think the comedy takes a minute to kind of catch on to. It's a little bit of a different pacing compared to other animated adult shows, but yeah, I really, really enjoy it. I feel like there's a ton of videos already talking about it, saying what I'm saying about it, so I don't know if I can add that much, but yeah, I greatly enjoyed it.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Which pop chameleon do you prefer, Prince or David Bowie? I'd go with Prince, even though I love both.
That's how to put it. For the music, I like David Bowie a little bit more. For the spectacle, I like Prince a little bit more. But they're both great, and they both have great music. They're both, just spectacles in and of themselves. But yeah, that's probably my answer.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Alien, what do you think of Dallas? I like him, and I like how, despite me making mistake and not being the best captain, he showed bravery as the crisis worsened.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. He makes mistakes, but he's not the idiot. He's not the bad guy. That was like, it's done fine in Aliens, but there is always something a little when it's like, okay, we just have to have a bad guy in this. But he has done very well, and he's very believable in Aliens, so it works out okay. But I feel like that's done a lot in horror films, and I really do he doesn't make the right choices, but he is competent. So you are still afraid for him when he's going, into like those tunnels there, and you don't know what's going after him. So yeah, no, I think he's done well.
Green, thank you for the 5,000 CLP through Super Chat. Have you thought about re-reviewing a film? Perhaps there's a video you're not really satisfied with and would like to revisit.
Oh yeah, especially the early days, where you could only shoot like you could only have a video that was like 10 minutes long. And on top of that, there's also films where I feel like I either A, I've changed my opinion, or B, I would just talk about differently now than back in those days, like the Super Mario Brothers movie or the Ninja Turtles movies, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, all the Batman and Robin. I feel like I could go into much more detail about. So we've always talked about it, like maybe we do a month where it's like re-review month or something like that. I think if I ever did that, it would have to be like maybe the year I knew I was going to stop, like this is the last year, because it is one of those things I could just already see people say, oh, he's so out of ideas, he's reviewing his old reviews, kind of thing.
A Pagan Priest, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, no question, just curious about your health. Has the brain fog gotten better? Are you improving?
Yes and no. Again, compared to when it started, it is a lot better. But like I said, I might be in it for the long haul. During C2E2, which is this big con out here. It's kind of stressful getting stuff together and everything. You do not want to be stressed when you have this. That makes it worse. I had a good 2 solid weeks of being absolutely fine. Like I could still feel it there, but it was okay. And then like the past month, like every other like 3 or 4 days, it'll hit me and it'll last for like, a couple days and stuff. So it is still unpredictable. I'm trying to figure out the different triggers for it and stuff. I think diet has, plays a big part in it. So I'm trying to eat more boring foods and say, this is a ginseng in here, So it's technically getting better. I think I'm still in for the long haul though. We don't know if it's gonna. I have seen videos of people that just still have this, and always live with it. But that's exactly it. They live with it. They live with it okay. So it might just be an adjustment.
Godzilla fan, thank you for the 500 bits. Did you hear a rumor that Pauly Shore is doing a Richard Simmons, the fitness guru, biopic, and the real Richard Simmons is not happy?
Yeah, they had a trailer for it. Or wait, or no, it was a short film that they released. And I never did see. I think I saw the trailer for it. I just didn't hear good things about the short, so I didn't watch it. But it does seem silly. I should. It's a short. It's not going to take up that much of my time. So yeah, I should probably check it out.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Disregarding your thoughts on Matthew Broderick as an actor, do you know about the car crash he was in the mid 80s?
Yeah, that's one of those things it's very sad, it's very tragic and everything. I try to keep that separate when I talk about his work. I feel like that doesn't play into anything. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. He's still acting, and everything. So I'm just like, I rather 9 out of 10 times when it comes to celebrities, or at least with actors, I like keeping it to just the work.
Headshot, thank you for the $5 super chat. Will you play Indiana Jones in the Great Circle game? This will be the most immersive Indiana Jones game since the Staff of Kings on Wii 15 years ago.
I saw a little thumbnail out. I guess I didn't know what it was. So it's a new game that's
it's a new game
coming out?
Mm-hmm,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look into it.
Maverica, thank you for the $10 super chat. Is there a particular Nostalgia Critic episode you did that makes you cringe, either due to bad writing, editing, or because your humor was different at the time?
Sure, there's plenty, especially the earlier stuff. In terms of like more recent ones, I was never quite satisfied with how Rango turned out. I don't think my thoughts were fully formed on it. I should have taken a little longer on it. I don't like how the Venom review turned out. I tried kind of faster editing, but it wasn't shot that way, so I don't think it really clicked. And in terms of the older stuff, there's always stuff that's like, well, that was, kind of the time and stuff like that. But there are definitely times where whenever I try to force a meme, that's really hard for me to watch. That's where I'm like, oh man, yeah, I wonder what he's trying to do, kind of thing. But that was back when people, weren't really doing that yet. And, I wasn't a huge deal yet. So it's like, let's try to make this a thing. Let's try to make people quote this. I got it. Great. Now I can stop, kind of thing.
Bronson, thank you for the $2 super chat. Ted, thank you for the $5 super chat. Also, have you checked out Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend yet?
I went back. I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but I went back just to see clips of it again. And it's so funny because I could not remember, because I saw when I was a kid years ago, and I could not remember, were those good effects or bad effects? And looking back, I'm like, these are bad effects. Like it's very impressive. They put a lot of money into it, and these things are very large and stuff like that. And it's really there. It's not stop motion or anything, but they're very clearly bad puppets. And I feel bad because you can feel the work that went into it, but it's clearly not working.
Mitchell, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hello, Doug. With Kingdom Hearts 4, what worlds would you like to see? I was thinking Moana, Incredibles, Mary Poppins.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Mary Poppins would be. The only thing with Mary Poppins is that so much of the world they create is the map paintings. I'm like, how would you do kind of walking in that world? But I bet they could find a pretty fun way. Incredibles, I feel like we already got like incredible video games and stuff like that. So I feel like that's been done. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think what other like. Oh, I think I said before, gargoyles would be really cool. I don't know if they're doing TV shows, but I think that'd be pretty sweet.
Samuel, thank you for the $2 super chat. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of the Cyndi Lauper song "The Goonies Are Good Enough"?
I remember liking it. I'd be lying if I said I remembered like all of it. But I remember when I heard it, I liked it. I liked it enough.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. My fiance is finally a fan of the channel, and she had an interesting quip about Doug. I didn't know Simon Pegg had a creepy American twin.
I'll take it. I mean, Simon Pegg's awesome, so I will totally 100% be his creepy American twin.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which villain do you like more, Mr. Big Head from Rocko's Modern Life or Plankton from SpongeBob?
Mr. Big Head's the was he the lizard or the salamander? Hold on, let me double check. Mr. Big Head. Yeah, I like Mr. Big Head. It's funny. Plankton would probably be more like my vibe, take over the world and stuff. But I think as I get older, I relate more to just the curmudgeons, like Squidward or something like that. Now if it was against Squidward and Mr. Big Head, I say Squidward.
Devoid Comics, thank you for the $10 super chat. I really like the music you use, but I can't find all of it in the YouTube free music library. Do you make any of your music in-house, and is there a playlist of the music that you used?
Sometimes my dad, whenever we would need music that like sounds like something else, like something from Willy Wonka, he'll do an orchestration that sounds similar, but he'll write different notes for it. And then the other one we go to is I don't think this is the official name of the site anymore, but if you go there, it's still the same place. It's called musicloops.com, where you can purchase music to use that sounds like, like really stuff you hear like in movies and movie trailers and stuff like that. So I think it's still up. It's just under a different name now.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. The dark backstory in Planes is definitely jarring, but where were you on the constant gratuitous violence and deaths in Cars 2?
I don't even remember. They put so little focus. I mean, not focus, maybe value on them that they don't even really resonate with me. So yeah, I don't remember too much of that movie that well. I don't know that many people who do it. That might be the most anyone's ever remembered of Cars 2.
Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. What is one Brad tries item that you ate but didn't catch on camera and wish you did?
Trying to think if there was something, like I had, and it was like a big reaction. I don't know. Like, I don't know. There's one I do want to do because I remember the soda being okay, and it was literally called Okay, was the name of the soda. It was a very 90s soda. It was trying to tap into the, we're 90s, we don't care kind of thing. I remember it being all right, but everyone said it was really bad. So that's one of those things where if he ever does a Brad Tries with Okay soda, I want to be there for that because I want to try that again. But yeah, I don't think I've had one where I had like a giant crazy reaction. I was like, oh, I wish I was filming that.
CD-ROM, thank you for the 1,000 bits. In honor of its 30th anniversary airing yesterday, comedy should provoke, it should blast through prejudices, challenge preconceptions. Comedy should always leave you different when you found it. Sheer humor can hurt, even alienate, but risky is better than the alternate. A steady diet of innocuous, child-proof, flavorless mush demand to be challenged, to be offended, to be treated like thinking, reasoning adults. I know I messed some of that up, sorry.
No, honestly, you could have just said the Duckman speech about comedy. That would have been fine too. but they are very, very good words. Yeah, man, that is crazy to think. That's Woo, woo, man, that's another like the Princess Bride review today. It's just instant old, just like, wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, man, that makes me feel old, but it is still a very, very good show, y'all. Gotta check that out. Duckman's brilliant show.
Buns Buggy, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Doug and Heather, have you seen or heard of Alicia and the Kingdom of Starlight? It's an animatic project slash rewrite of Wish by Pink Machine Studios.
Kingdom of Starlight.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't even seen Wish, so.
Yeah, you ain't missing much. Oh, look at that. Okay, I have. Okay, maybe I know I've definitely seen these fan animations people do where they replace the little star with like a star boy, pretty much. And it does always look better. It looks like the movie would be better. I don't think it would save it, but I think the film would be more interesting if they did that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. I like Lost World. I know you're not a fan, but we're and a cutoff. Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Your Little Mermaid 2023 video is already great, but the dig at both anti-woke rage bait and Disney's virtue signaling was so satisfying.
I mean, I like to look at stuff objectively. I'm gonna have leans like I guess everybody does, but again, I like to look at a piece of art just for what it has to offer. I don't care if it comes from one side or the other or no side. So yeah, that's I like to just I think it's a very logical way to look at something. So I try to keep that very much in the center.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. I'm sure this has been asked before at one point or another, but I recently watched UHF, and I just have to know, was Chester a bum based on the homeless guy from that movie? Also, what are your thoughts on the film overall?
The line change was, and I didn't even realize it until I think I saw the movie again. I was like, oh, that's where I got that, because he does go. He says it a different way, but he goes, "Change, you got change," and I'm like, oh yeah, I did get that line from there. But obviously the voice is different. And it's a funny movie. It's fun because it got really ripped apart when it came out. And it's like I can see somebody not liking it, but getting that ripped apart was a little weird. But it's a perfect Weird Al movie. If you like Weird Al Yankovic, you're gonna like UHF.
We're gonna have to pick it up a little bit. We're
Gotcha.
still an hour behind, and I
Gotcha.
completely forgot we have questions from Friday. Your stream cut out early on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. I like Lost World. I know you're not a fan, but were there any moments in it you did like?
I'm sure there was something. I like the little mini dinosaurs. I thought those were they were in the original book, and it was cool to see those.
Bronson, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite dramatic performance by a comedic actor? Also, what's your favorite comedic performance by a serious actor?
I think we're in a hurry. I'm gonna have to do one of those. I just saw Nathan Fielder give a really good dramatic performance in a show called The Curse. I mean, it's also very funny, but his dramatic moments are actually like uncomfortably good.
Buns Buggy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, if you've seen the TED show, what'd you think?
I haven't. I'm sorry.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the 2-month, becoming a 2-month member over on YouTube. You left out the best line in your review of The Princess Bride. Today. Never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
I had a lead in, and because of YouTube, you can't show too much footage or you'll get copyright hit. Yeah, we couldn't do it. I'm sorry.
Tiffio, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm at a soccer game. No further questions, Your Honor. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. 3 favorite Michael Bay movies. Mine are The Rock, Transformers, and 13 Hours, the only movies from him I consider good.
Yeah, The Rock, Transformers. Pain and Gain was kind of fun.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. The show I told you about, Symbionic Titan, is about 2 alien teens and a robot who flee to the Earth after their planet is conquered by an evil general. While hissing out on Earth, they use a giant mech to fight monsters the general sends after them. When fighting the monsters, they have to face something just as challenging as the monsters. High school, does that sound like a show you'd like?
I'll try to check it out. Also, keep them short.
Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen the 2003 TMNT? It's the most overlooked TMNT, and it shows 4Kids actors can be good because most 4Kids dubs suck so hard.
I gotta check it out. I've only seen bits of it. I gotta watch the whole thing, though.
AU Horseman, thank you for the $15 super chats. Hello, Doug. Ooh. Will you ever review the Australian films Man from Snowy River and The Silver Brumby? Also, what's your opinions on Australian films?
I mean, what I've seen, I like. Yeah, I haven't heard of either of those, though. I'll try to check them out.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Is it odd that my favorite David Lynch movies are his most mainstream ones, The Elephant Man and The Straight Story?
No. Everyone's gonna have a different style they gravitate towards, and I like that he does show he can do variety in that. Honestly,
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In the Steven Universe movie, what did you think of Spinell?
oh, I thought she was good. The animation on her was so cool. I love the way she was drawn, the way she moved. It was really nicely done.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite and least favorite Tim Burton flick? Mine is Ed Wood, and my least favorite is Planet of the Apes.
Ed Wood's my favorite too. Least favorite? Maybe Alice in Wonderland. That was pretty bad.
The Kobe, thank you for the $5 super chat. My family thinks I eat too many plastic spoons. How many should I eat? Ooh, approximately 0.
Mm. Yes, there's 2 zeros in the middle of it because that's how many you should be having.
Tristan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Are you going to review Mom and Dad Save the World is a same year as Stay Tuned and same actor?
I never saw it, and I wanted to because it just looks so bizarre. So I have to see it first.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Paddington movie do you like more?
I like the first one more. I think there was such a surprise element of that really caught me off guard.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. NC for The Fugitive, War Games, Hunt for Red October, Ferris Bueller, Full Metal Jacket, Karate Kid.
Maybe Karate Kid.
Unnamed Hero, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hi Doug, longtime viewer, first video was Warriors of Virtue. Who was your favorite cameo on Nostalgia Critic?
Flying Greg Sestero in was pretty cool. No, Dante Bosco was pretty cool. They're really tough. There's so many great people. It's really hard to choose.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug and Heather. I love today's review. Grew up with this movie. My sister and I got this movie on DVD from the Easter Bunny one Easter when we were young and watch it constantly and quote it.
What's it called?
The one that we reviewed this week. You just reviewed. Princess Bride. Alex Loves Musicals, thank you for the 500 bits. Variety reported that the Neverending Story is getting a reboot movie series. Like, why? Maybe they're going to stick closer to the books? I heard the original author hated all the movies, but no one is really asking for this remake.
Actually, I would love to see something that is closer to the book, because it is very different. I think it could make a pretty good miniseries. That's actually what I'm okay with. I love the original movie, but I'm okay with that.
Ronnie G, thank you for the $5 super chat. You know I'm going through a lot when I cope by see ya your Freddy Got Fingered first viewing with Rob over 20 plus times.
That is a pretty funny one. Yeah, that's the only one we had to pause because we were so shocked what we were seeing.
Amanda, thank you for the $5 super chat. With the reboot coming out and it being the 30-year anniversary, would you review The Crow?
Maybe. I have kind of a confession. I think it's fine. I don't love it. I'm afraid people are really going to want to kill me when they. Well, okay, there I said the K word. So maybe you can't say that. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe I should give it another chance.
On a Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. Okay, Doug, we're half an hour behind, so we got to pick it up a little. How did you know? We are 35 minutes behind. Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. I thought the final season of BoJack had a very clever satire of cancel culture. I love when he gets paid to be edited out of his old sitcom Horse and Around, which will be retitled as simply Around. They mentioned how the same thing happened with The Cosby Show, not now known as The Show.
The show. Yeah, and I like it kind of ends on a note like, will he turn it around or not? Like, will either of them get better? They can. Will they? I thought it was a very interesting spot to end on.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, is next week's review going to be a good movie like this week's, or is it going to be a bad movie? May we have a hint?
It's bad. And somebody did a reanimation of the entire movie you can find on YouTube.
Zicky, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, what do you think about Joker 2 being a musical? That doesn't sound good to me on paper, but I have a good idea for why it might.
Oh, I love that idea. That is a different route. I think those are good actors and a good idea to do it with. I think it's very experimental. It could totally collapse. I'm not going to act like it can. In fact, it's very easy for it to collapse. That's why I admire it even more that they're going to try it. So yeah, no, I'm actually pretty excited for that.
Easy D, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on reviewing Babe 1995 or the 1973 animated and 2006 live action versions of Charlotte's Web?
Maybe. I've talked about maybe doing old versus new as Charlotte's Web. And Babe's fine. I really want to talk about the sequel. The sequel is really good.
Amanda, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, just watched Ed Wood for the first time. So good. How did Burton go from that to Dark Shadows? Would you consider Dark Shadows for Nostalgiaween?
Maybe, but I haven't really watched the soap opera, and I feel like you need to know a lot about that in order to critique it. So, critique it in the way that I do. So, probably not.
Zanaris, thank you for the 500 bits. How likely is Doug going to finish Final Fantasy VII Remake on Friday? I'm looking forward to his reaction to the rest of the game. Highly unlikely now because we had to end an
Yeah,
hour early due to internet issues, so probably not next week
it'll
or
probably
this
be two
week rather.
streams. Yeah.
Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you seen Pennies from Heaven with Steve Martin? You and Rob, do yourself a favor and watch the scene where Christopher Walken danced to Let's Misbehave. Brad loves that movie. Also, tell him Happy First Father's Day.
Yeah, that's a good point. I did, but I'm weirdly blanking on it. I remember scenes from it, but I don't remember how it all went. Yeah, I don't know. Let me write that down. Maybe I didn't see all that movie. Maybe I only saw bits of it.
Queen Calificent, thank you for the 500 bits. Doug damn near gave me a heart attack when he said he celebrated Father's Day last Sunday. I was like, did I miss Father's Day? You did not. Doug celebrated early. It's
That's
okay.
why I said last Sunday.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Remember UMD Media Disc from PSP?
No, sadly.
Queen Calificent, thank you for the 500 bits. My favorite Ask That Guy was when a wheelchair user asked you how to be sexy, and Ask That Guy said, you know what's sexy? Walking. That's the only time I recall you ever apologizing for a joke.
It's a pretty funny one. But terrible. Shame. It was supposed to be shock humor.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Who do you think is the better Pinocchio? Gregory Mann from the Guillermo del Toro version or Dick Jones in the Disney version?
Uh, that's rough, man. I don't know. Maybe I'll go for the newer one just because they allow him to explore a few more ideas, but it's really close.
Tristan, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey Doug, I want you know I'm an artist. I draw my own movies and logos, but I stressing about similar content. I just want to inspired, but it seemed like I rip off. Was it okay and worth it?
I always tell anyone going into entertainment or anything artistic, trying to do it for a living or as a hobby, do it because you love it. Don't focus too much. I want to inspire blank. I want to be the next blank. I want to have this fame and blah, blah, blah. Do it because this is just what brings you joy. If it brings you joy, great. And a great way to learn other great forms of art and create something new is by mimicking, tracing and stuff like that. I mean, it's a lot of artists start off just tracing or imitating other artists that they enjoy. So I think it's all right.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, what did you think of Geppetto?
I liked him. I like he's kind of annoyed by him at first. I thought that was pretty funny, and I like you see the relationship grow over time.
Alex loves musicals. Thank you for the 500 bits. After watching Boy Meets World, would you ever consider watching Girl Meets World?
My wife watched it. She said it was all right. Like I said, and honestly, Boy Meets World I only got into because she was watching that too. So maybe I'll give it a chance at some point.
Tom Allen, thank you for the 20-pound super chat. Fun fact, the star from Disney's Wish was originally going to be a boy nicknamed Starboy who fell in love with Asha, and the song At All Costs was originally intended to be a romantic love duet between Asha and Starboy.
I think it would have been better. I don't know if it would have saved it. There's still so many other problems with that film, but I think that would have helped it out.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Leica antagonist do you like more, Snatcher from Box Trolls or the Moon King from Kubo?
Snatch is pretty fun. He's pretty funny.
Skinny, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you consider making another video re-reviewing Bebe's Kids for SNES?
I mean, I feel like I got everything out about that game I need to get out. Probably not too much more to say about it.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. I would love to see a Jungle Book world and see Sora get hypnotized by Ka.
Yeah, or do like what they do in games where like someone's like half awake or in a dream world. It's like, what do you see when you're hypnotized with him? That'd be kind of funny.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Kubo, what do you think of Matthew McConaughey as Beetle?
He didn't do that much for me. Like, he worked okay, like just well enough, but it was one of those where I was thinking of other actors you could have picked to sort of be more constantly charming. I don't know, it's a little awkward. I don't know if voice acting is necessarily his thing. He's not awful, it's just a little awkward.
Skinny, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, did you know they are re releasing The Lion King in theaters for its 30th anniversary? Turns to dust.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I like seeing that movie when it comes to the big screen.
Jacob, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Doug, did you know when they were doing casting for Iron Man in 2008, their top choice for Tony was actually Tom Cruise before they went with RDJ?
I think it would have done okay. I don't think it would have done as well, but I think it would have been pretty good.
Nick, thank you for the $10 super chat. I've watched a lot of your movie reviews, but I've always wondered who would you prefer in music between my two favorite bands, Metallica or Megadeth?
I grew up on Metallica. I really like Metallica. Yeah, it just, I'm not even saying they're better. It's just that it hits me in the nostalgia feels.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Avatar, what's your favorite Azula moment?
Oh man, when she tricks the guy in the Earth Kingdom and he says, "I've been bested at my own game," and she says, "Don't flatter yourself. You weren't even a player." It's just and it's so a guy you want to see that happen to. It was such a jarring line. It was such a in the heart.
The Red Dragon, thank you for the $2 super chat. Dylan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Batman and Robin had Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl, so the Batman Part 2 needs to have Alicia Vikander as Batgirl, who was considered as Catwoman.
Oh, well, there you go.
William, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen Unicorn on HBO? It's a 2-decade project by the creator of Samurai Jack. Also been a fan since It Review.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I liked it. There's a guy called Cosmonaut Variety Hour. He has this, like, it's missing the sauce. Like, it's good, but it's missing something. There's some sort of secret ingredient that's not quite there. Maybe they'll get, like, in another season. I think they can, but, like, I'm like, why don't I love this? I should love this. And it's missing just one crucial element. I'm not sure what it is, but I hope they find it if they do more.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather and Doug, have you seen Makoto Shinkai's Suzume on Netflix yet? Your thoughts if you have.
Not yet. I do have it on the list though. I do want to check it out.
Zanaris, thank you for the 500 bits. Question for both. My favorite classic comedy filmmaker is Mel Brooks. Which movie of his is your favorite? Mine is History of the World Part 1.
Man, that's rough. Maybe Young Frankenstein. I do watch that every Halloween.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, what do you think of Sebastian J. Cricket?
Oh, I thought he was well handled. I mean, like, nothing great or anything, but I thought he was handled pretty well. For a character I usually don't like, in Pinocchio, I thought they did a pretty good job.
Nicro, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hello, Doug. I heard you mention about the triplets of Belleville in one of your sibling rivalry videos. Any thoughts on this weird movie?
Oh, I liked it. It's always one of those where the animation's so good, and the style's so good. I wish it was about a little bit more. I wish there was a little bit more substance to it, but that's also kind of the charm of it too. It's just kind of doing its own thing. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Christian, thank you for the $5 super chat. High C released Ecto Cooler in 2016 and 2021. I was wondering if you drink it.
Oh yeah, no, anytime it comes out, I always have it. I love it.
Zicky, thank you for the $5 super chat. Here's what I think. The first Joker started as a tragedy, then it was a comedy by the end, and now the love story is going to be a musical.
Yeah, well, there you go. To translate, it'll be interesting to see what becomes next.
The Beetle Boy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Any theatrical movie releases this year that you'll see? South Park, Shawshank, and Blazing Saddles are just a few going back to theaters this year.
Oh, like ones
movie
being re-released.
re-releases. I'm sorry, I misread it.
A Lion King, I'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to see what else is coming out. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty. If it's the same year Lion King came out, I remember a lot of good movies coming out around that time. So yeah, I might check some out.
Christian, thank you for the $5 super chat. What console from the 6th generation did you have other than Dreamcast? PS2, Xbox, or GameCube?
GameCube. We were Nintendo for a pretty long time, and then I think when I think PS3 was the first like different system we got finally.
Great. Cool. All right, we caught up. We have 7 minutes. However, I'm sorry, chat.
Oh, that's right.
On Friday, stream had to end an hour early, so I'm gonna go take a look at some of those. So that's what I'm going to take a look at now. Movie Mike, thank you for the 200 bits. And it's the same message about Symbiotic Titan, so I'm not going to
Okay,
read that
gotcha.
whole paragraph about it again. Movie Mike, thank you for the 100 bits. How do you feel if there's a villain in a show you really like, but then they become good? Are you excited to see what they did with it, or you miss them being a villain?
It depends how it's done. I love what they did with Magneto in X-Men '97. I usually kind of like the ones where it's like, well, will they be villains later though? Are they gonna go back? Like that door is always kind of open. No, if it's done well, it's done well.
The Experiment, thank you for the 100 bits. Did you watch a show called Primal? It was made by Gendy Tartakovsky, the same guy who made Dexter's Lab and Samurai Jack.
Yes, it's very, very good. Anyone has to say excellent visual storytelling. It's very well done.
Xanaris, thank you for the 100 bits. Heather, how would you rank Final Fantasy main villains for the games that you've played? Number one, Kefka. It's just Kefka. The list is all just Kefka. Gaming Objective, thank you for the 50 bits. Hey, Heather, have you met any of the Final Fantasy VII Remake cast at conventions? I have not. Movie Mike, thank you for the 100 bits. In Terminator 2, I love the look on Silberman's face when he sees the Terminators. I love how now he knows what it's like to see something unbelievable.
I get a feeling before I answer some of these.
Yeah. Sora, thank you for the 100 bits. While I agree with your choices, I have to say, I think watching The Great Mouse Detective in theaters would be so amazing with modern sound systems because of the sounds of London and the clock tower ending scenes.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I agree. I remember seeing it on the big screen, and even though the sound wasn't as good back then, it was still. I mean, you're a little kid, so everything is like magnified, including the sound. It was pretty cool.
JL, thank you for the 50 bits. Just finished X-Men '97. Now I can't wait for season 2.
Oh, me too, man. I'm so excited.
Oh, was that it? Oh, that was it.
Nice.
Oh, okay. We got 5 minutes. Let's go, chat. Okay. The Ultimate Frozen Fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. I don't know if this has been asked or not, but do you plan on talking about If, either as NC, Untitled Review / Doug Reviews? I saw it over the weekend and I cried.
I'll probably stream it at some point, and then if I feel like it's worth a review, I might do like a vlog review, something like that.
Power Gamer on Twitch asks, have you seen The Acolyte? It's kind of hard to get to a general reception because, Star Wars fans.
See, that it's funny because I didn't have much interest in seeing it. It just kind of looked bland to me. But then when I saw that great divide, that even more than something getting great reviews or terrible reviews, when I see a divide like that, I go, ooh, like now I really got to see this. So I'll check it out soon.
Sussy Baka on YouTube asks, can the Nostalgia Critic review the new Sonic movies with Jim Carrey?
Well, I think Jim Carrey's probably going to be busy, so I don't know if I can have him on as a guest. But I do want to wait for the movies to all come out, at the very least 3, because we know a third one's coming out. So I'll probably wait for them. But yeah, I wouldn't mind reviewing those because I think there's a lot of fun stuff to say about them.
Blagblick Block over on Twitch asks, have you considered doing a Tom Cruise theme month or a Mad Max theme month?
Well, so the Mad Max Fury Road review was kind of like us talking about the Mad Max movies as well as Fury Road. So I feel like I got everything out about that. And then just see the entire review show for like Furiosa or my vlog review. I don't know. Like Tom Cruise is fine. I don't think I have like a diehard passion to talk about his stuff. Or when I do, I just get him out in like, an entitled review show. So probably not.
Leprechaun Farmer, thank you for the $5 super chat. How about an SNL month, movie month?
Maybe, because there are a lot of bad movies from him. Might be an idea.
McKinley Miles over on YouTube asks, when are we getting Barbie month?
Well, again, that'd be like a Barbie year. Aren't there like a million of those straight to DVD?
There really are.
Movies. Yeah, I will. This year, I do want to review the movie Barbie as well. I'll get to that at some point.
The Red Dragon, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, have you seen the Netflix's The Dragon Prince?
No, I know it's the people who did Avatar, so I do want to check it out. It's another one of those where I wasn't getting to the animation, so I sort of went to it. But I really should, because that's obviously a very good duo that makes very good stuff.
Sean49 Doctor over on Twitch asks, hey Doug, as a fan of British shows, did you ever see the show Blake 7? And if so, what are your thoughts?
No, I never heard of that one. I'll try to check it out.
Frankfurt over on YouTube asks, any thoughts on a review for the Lego movie?
I've thought about maybe doing like all the Lego movies in one. But maybe I should just do the original. I don't know. I really like that movie a great deal, and I like Lego Batman a great deal too. So yeah, maybe I'll get to that at some point.
Ramirez over on Twitch says, Donald Duck just had a new short that came out. Did you see it? And if so, what are your thoughts? It's titled DIY Duck.
Yeah, it's all right. I kind of thought it'd be funnier for sort of these nice throwback, because the ones like done with Goofy have been very very funny. A lot of the throwback cartoons, and they've really gotten the sense of humor down, the old sound effects and stuff. And they tried to do it. It just wasn't as funny for me, but it's cute. It's fine.
Logan over on YouTube asks, did you see Digital Circus?
I only saw the first episode, and I liked it. It wasn't something that like totally drew me in where I had to see more, but I did hear the second episode drop, so I should definitely give that a shot too, because I don't think it's always the best to judge a whole show just by its first episode. First episodes usually aren't the best, but it was still good. It was still good.
Apple Pie over on Twitch says, hi, Doug. Hi, Rachel. It's Heather. If you were reincarnated as a cartoon character, who would you choose and why? I love you guys. Also, Doug, can you make it through your brain fog? You're strong.
Thank you so much. Man, I'm trying to think of, I mean, maybe like a Bugs Bunny or something. Somebody could just make anything happen, or one of the Warners. That'd be pretty cool.
There you go.
Just totally uses the cartoon logic.
Yeah, that's great. All right, and that will be where we end it today. Then.
Alrighty.
So thank you everyone for joining us here today, as usual.
Real fast, I like Dragon's toy just having a little arrow pointing us as Heather after the Rachel line. That's pretty funny.
It works. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you every single week being here and having all these amazing questions for Doug. YouTube will see you again in a week, but do keep in mind that we have content on Twitch 5 days a week. So if you want to see Doug almost finish playing Final Fantasy VII Remake for the first time, then come on back on Friday night. Malcolm will be on here on twitch.tv/channelawesome tomorrow. So yeah, come hang out. Twitch, we are going out to raid Tamara as soon as I get it typed here. Invalid username, like I can't spell my friend's name. Great.
Some friend you are. Tisk tisk.
There it goes. Okay.
There it goes.
Fantastic.
There it goes.
Oh, we got it. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Thank you so much again. We literally couldn't do this without you, so we appreciate you being here. Have a great night, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.